All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Sunday Night Charts with Jim of All Trades. Good to see you. This June 15th, 2025. Happy Father's Day to you. How many of you out there are fathers and you got kids and you enjoyed a day being honored by your family? You deserve it, guys. Fathers are important to this world. We're the protectors. We're the providers, guys. We are the guys that do the hard things because we love our families. So if you're out there and you're a dad, you deserve the honor you got today. So happy Father's Day to you. Keep on protecting. Keep on providing. Keep on doing the hard things. This world is hard and your family lives in it. And we know the sacrifices you make for your family and to take care of them. So I want to say happy Father's Day to you and thank you for what you do for your family. That said, what's going on, guys? I hope you're well. My name is Jim. I'm a crypto trader. I'm here to help you understand the market from an Elliott wave perspective. Guys, I think a big move is coming to the chart. Up or down, you guys have been around here long enough to know that I have a belief system that says crypto needs to go down before up. I do believe crypto is here to stay, but maybe not crypto as you know it. And I think that's something you need to consider. Crypto as you know it is the first iteration of a digital economy or a digital world. But the digital economy that's coming is going to be rooted in stable coins. And a lot of the cryptocurrencies that you invest in and you hold, they may disappear. And so I do believe a big down move is coming. When and how it comes, I don't know. But that said, I am here to show you the wave structure, what I think is happening, what it's doing. I'm going to show you to the best of my ability, as neutral as I can be. We're going to look at all the evidence and point whether it's going up or whether it's going down. All right, with that said, let's jump into the analysis. Just don't confuse anything I say as financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube. And if you're making your financial decisions based on a guy on YouTube, you got problems. You got real problems. You want to get a perspective and enjoy my live stream tonight as entertainment as well as education on how an Elliott waver looks at wave structure. That's definitely good on you to expand your horizons, to expand your viewpoint, to consider another person's viewpoint. That's definitely something good to do during this live stream. But if you're listening to my live stream and then clicking a button based on something I said tonight, not a good idea, guys. It's just not a good idea. I'm not here to pass the buck, and I'm not here to tell you that I don't. I'm here shilling some bear count or bull count or whatever. I'm just simply saying it's just not good to make decisions based on what somebody on YouTube says. You need to have your own strategy and a plan for risk management. And if you don't know how to manage your risk and you don't have a plan for your risk management, you're in trouble. You're in real trouble. You're probably losing trade after trade. If you need to learn how to manage your risk, I've got a Discord for that very thing. I've got an educational department in there, and I'm around. You can ask questions all you want. You get a daily video in the morning on the wave structure, and you get a community of guys that are trading, and we're all around, so all around the world. So with that said, guys, let's jump in to the market. Excuse me 1 second while I choke on my coffee. Okay, Abdullah says, how do you find the Discord? Well, Abdullah, thanks for the ask there. You join my Patreon as a donor, and we get you right in there. It is as paid Discord, so it is a paid service based on a lot of work that I've done and put together and continue to do every day. So just the link is in the description for the Patreon. If you want some one-on-one help training, I do offer that as well. Recommend that for those of you who need real help in psychology, understanding the importance of psychology in your trading, because that, to be honest with you, that's where all the work needs to really happen, is your psychology. So, all right, let's jump in. Good question, Abdullah. Thank you. Let me say hi to everybody. Said hi to me. What's up, Mr. Berger? Bollinger Bands are squeezing on the daily and the 2-day. Yep, absolutely. I don't do the Bollinger Bands, but I can see that happening for sure. Just in the way the price structure is forming. So, on ETH, big price move incoming. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm seeing. I'm seeing we're going to break out of this range. Big price move is on the way. What's up, Keith? Enjoy your run, brother. Run hard. Stay the course and don't quit, brother. Keep on trucking. Keep it up. Daniel L., hey, buddy. Good to see you. Epsilon, glad to see you as well. I see your idea. Let's see. You wrote something. You thinking last cycle of the memes? Yeah, maybe. And then he says, bullish to the close of the CME gap. Hey, where's that gap, Epsilon? I'd like to know. Where's that gap? I don't pull up the CME charts a whole lot. So I do every now and then, just when I used to have it open all the time, but I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it these days. Let me know where that gap is. JQ, what's up, man? 3 adult kids here, 4 of the 5 of us together today. Awesome, man. I know that's been a good day for you. Happy Father's Day, buddy. Appreciate you. J Dubs, you laughing at something? I'm not sure what you're laughing at, but happy crying face to you, man. All right, I think I said hi to everybody. It said hi. Oh, Slice, I missed right. Oh, and Crypto Mo. Sorry, I missed you. What's up, guys? Happy Father's Day. You think the brink of World War III going to play much of a toll in the market? It could be. Are we on the brink of World War III? I don't know where we are. I mean, there's talk of war. I don't know how that's going to play, but it's all baked into the charts. I'm 100. That's 100%. Crypto Mo. Great question, but definitely pay attention. It could be that war is the explanation for a market dump, right? Okay. Hey, do you guys interested in a little bit of a Jim Pierce rant based on what Crypto Mo just asked about war? Where does that play? You guys want a Jim Pierce rant first, or do you want me to get into the analysis? Let me know. I can do a 5-minute rant and then we can get started, or I can do the rant later on, or I can just not do the rant if you want to skip the Jim Pierce rant, the Jim of all trades rant. Let me know. Chemo wants a rant. All right. Hit the likes if you like the rant. A 5-minute rant's okay. All right. I'll try to keep it a 5-minute rant. So this. Oh, somehow I think I moved my mic. Okay, how we doing? Can you hear me now? I muted my mic somehow. I think when I moved my mic closer, Yep, sorry about that. All right, so let's start over. So we started at we're at $100,000, and the sentiment of the market, for some reason, is more and more bullish. Like, now that price is at the most important round number in crypto, 100,000, 100K. We've been. How long have we been talking about 100K? We've been talking about 100K ever since we hit 20K. Ever since the first run up of Bitcoin, we've been talking about 100K. So I think a lot of you guys are underestimating the power of $100,000. That this price discovery area is major resistance. It should be, and it is. We've already rejected off of it once, and we had a $30,000 correction. Okay, we came to 105, 110, something like that, and we went down to 73,000. So we had basically a $30,000 rejection. That's a 30% mark down in price. You say, well, that's all. No, that's not the way crypto does it. That's probably the first stage of the markdown. Now we're retesting these levels, right? And the sentiment is, oh, we got a crypto president in the United States, and everything is going digital and blah blah blah. And you guys could probably name off 10 different bullish fundamentals that are happening in crypto. What you need to understand is that the way money moves and how long it takes for money to move. The money movement is the big deal. How money moves, how the big boys make money. And what you have to understand is they work price, they work sentiment, they work trade. The only place they can make money in crypto is from you guys, you and me, from the small fish. So they have to work the chart in such a way that they can make money. So they work these levels, right? They do it on the small time frame and they do it on the big time frame. However, the way they make money is they create sentiment that is opposite of the way the price, the way the chart is going to go. Right now, sentiment is supremely bullish. Most of the people I talk to and see on YouTube are bullish on crypto, bullish on Bitcoin. I'm listening to Michael Saylor in an interview saying Bitcoin's going to 1 million. That naming off 10 reasons why you should be bullish on Bitcoin, right? I'm listening to all these, I'm getting all these news articles about what's going on in governments and whatnot. And that's all fine and dandy, and that's right, and it's not wrong, right? But here's the thing. Here's the problem with it. The problem is they cannot drive price up to 150,000, 200,000, or whatever, wherever you want it to go, without a supply. There isn't a lot of supply right now. And the demand, while the demand is high, it's not high enough to jam price that high that fast. So they have to work the range. Right now, they created a high, rejected off of it. Now they've gone above the high slightly. Are they going to keep going, or are they going to reject off of it again? Chances are they're going to go back down to where the liquidity is, because that's where the money. They're going to sell it off. They're going to sell it off, making the money. Okay? See, you're buying up here while they're selling to you. They sold to you. They brought it back up here for another round of selling. All right? That's what's going on. Because there's liquidity here. This is where the liquidity is, down underneath here. When you break this trend line, when you break that trend line, there's liquidity down here. What's up here? Ain't nothing up here but some short stops up there. But if everybody's bullish, where's the stops for those guys? Where's their money sitting? Underneath this place, underneath this place. At this low and at this low. This is where all the money is. There is some money up here, yes. They just came and grabbed it. They grabbed it. What you've got to understand is that they're going to take the market down again, and it's going to go down. And when it goes down, it's going to go down a lot faster than it's gone up. Okay? And it's going to freak you out. But here's the thing I wanted to rant about. They need a reason. They need an excuse. They need something happening that you couldn't foresee, that they planned, that they did foresee, but they've got to have something to blame it on. COVID. The COVID dump, right? That's the reasoning. That's the reasoning. You see, let's talk about that for a minute. Here's the COVID era here. All right, look at it. We had an initial wave to the upside, right? And then we had this move to the downside, right? And then it looked like it was going up and breaking out, right? Looked like it was breaking out, going up for another move. Well, what did they do? They brought it down really fast. Now without anything going on, why did they do that? To take the liquidity down here, to retest this bottom so they could get better buys, another round of buying, okay? Right? But they had a reason. Everybody was so bullish. They had to have a reason for the dump. And what was the reason? COVID. It was the COVID dump. But really, that was the beginning of COVID, because during the real COVID years, what happened? It slammed to the upside. But it's just the reason. It's just the excuse, right? So for every dump that you get, there's always a reason for the dump. You know why we got this dump right here, this dump right there? This was the very day the ETF, which ETF was it? One of the Bitcoin ETF started right here. Boom. They dumped it. It didn't pump. It dumped. And then it pumped. Okay. So you got the pump, but it comes after liquidity grabs. Then you get the pump straight up. Okay. That's the way they do it, guys. You get the dump first, then the pump straight up. So was this the dump? Well, let me ask you guys a question. What liquidity was grabbed on that dump? Tell me. What liquidity? What money did they grab? There ain't none that they took. They didn't take any liquidity. There was none to take. Where price went. Yes, there was some here, a little bit. This is a little bit of a level, right? But there wasn't nothing to take. Now that they set a low and they went up and created a new high, now they've created a place on the chart where liquidity can be taken. That's where they're going. They're going there. When and how? I'm not here to be certain. I can't be certain about it. But that's what wave structure helps you do. Wave structure helps you identify what trick is up their sleeve at the moment. Well, that liquidity, that convincing it's going lower, chemo, is a creation of liquidity. But they create it, they have to take it by going up and stopping them out somehow, which I think is probably what you're saying. But my point here is that there was, as they go up, they overlap the waves. There's been no overlap of this wave. And they go up in predictable price patterns of 5s and 3s. And guys, we have a 5 here. We have 5. If that's not 5, then what we have is 1, 2, and this is wave 3. This was wave 4, or the first part of wave 4. The rest of wave 4 still has to come down here, and then we get 5. Regardless, either way, I see strong arguments for this low getting taken before big moves to the upside. More than likely. Now, we'll talk about the bullish scenario, a couple of bullish scenarios, but my rant was more, and I didn't spend enough time on it, but my rant was more about the excuse and the World War III that's going on. I say World War III. I don't know about World War III. I don't know what this conflict is going to bring. But we do know that the chart is telling us that there's something big on the horizon. The chart is screaming, big move coming. Okay? It's just the wave structure is just yelling and screaming. And we'll talk about what those big moves could be, and I'll get you as ready as I can for it. But whatever happens, it's going to be blamed on whatever event we can't see. There's going to be a black swan. There's going to be something to blame it on, and there'll be an excuse. But the beauty of Elliott Wave and the beauty of understanding liquidity grabs of market makers, okay, and the big boys, is that once you understand their tricks and what they do and why they do it, you can then begin to predict their moves. Now, you can't predict it with certainty, but you can see the move developing in the chart, and you can be ready for it. You won't know exactly how it's going to go and how many waves and what levels exactly, but you understand their mechanisms. And once you understand their mechanisms, and that's why you guys need to study Elliott Wave, because Elliott Wave, for me, is one of the best, most consistent method for studying the mechanisms of the market makers. Okay. Now, it's not a perfect system, and it's not a perfect application of the system. Okay. In other words, studying Elliott Wave and becoming an expert at Elliott Wave isn't going to make you an expert trader. No. Studying any particular thing isn't going to make you an expert trader. It's controlling your emotions and having a risk management system that is executed well. That is what makes a trader. Controlling your emotions and executing risk management consistently. I don't care what your system is. You want to come to my Discord, I'll tell you how I trade. I'll show you how I trade. I'll tell you the trades that I'm taking. And, I don't recommend copy trading ever to anybody, because you can't copy somebody else's trades unless you know exactly what their risk management is and you have their same emotion system. You have their same confidence levels. Okay. Copy trading sucks, and I would not recommend it. So I'm not shilling for my Discord copy trading. That's not what I'm about. I'm about teaching. I'll teach you how Elliott Wave works. I will show you how trade setups that I use and things that I look for trades. I'll tell you how I take trades, why I take trades, what my system is. But I'll encourage you to create your own and to manage your psychology. And that's what you're going to get. You're going to get some rational thinking. We're not bear boys, we're not bull boys. We stay as I'm very bearish right now. But that doesn't mean the chart can't go bull and I can't be wrong. The question is, will I be ready if the chart goes bull and I'm wrong? And the answer is, yeah, I'm ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? For those of you who are bullish or bearish, I should say, are you ready for it to go bull? What if it goes bull? Are you ready for it? Is it okay? Can you shift? Can you shift with the market when the market tells you something? Can you switch? All right. So there's a rant, a little bit of one. Just realize that the war that we got, it could be the excuse for a dump. But whatever happens, there's going to be an excuse. It's going to be but what's going to happen is already in the chart. It's already baked in. It's already here. So let's talk about what we're seeing in wave structure. Okay? You ready to go? Here we go. All right. So I always start with the macro. I want to spend very short amount of time. Let's see. Abdullah has a couple comments here. Just signed up. Okay. Awesome, dude. So Abdullah, I won't be able to focus in and bring you into the Discord until about 11 o'clock tonight, Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. So as soon as my live stream is over, I will get an email to you with a link to the Discord. I'll bring you right in, and we'll get you acclimated. So, all right. Anyway, let's see. Chemo is just a good friend, and appreciate the endorsement, Chemo. But Chemo, we've been friends for a long time, and I appreciate Chemo. So, and his perspective, he's a balanced dude. So, Oh, nice. That's exciting, Abdullah. Nice. I'm glad you got in and out of the market. Nice. That's right, Ricky. Appreciate you, buddy. All right. Okay, I think I caught up. Epsilon, once I master Elliott Wave, my training will be complete. Once you master Elliott Wave, your training will be complete. Sounds like a line from a Star Wars movie. And now, young Jedi, you will wave. All right. Okay, let's get into it. I'm sorry I made you wait too long. You're just going for the clickbait, chemo, with the $7.2 trillion target. You know what happens? You know what has to happen to the dollar for BTC to go there, don't you? Well, I mean that's how you get views, buddy. I mean that's how Craig gets his views, right? I'm just not a clickbait boy. I'm just not good at it. I don't do it. I don't do clickbait. All right, macro. Why am I bearish? A couple reasons. Number one, we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You got 5 waves in each of those waves. Looks like a leading diag. Could be done, or there's a throw over coming. You say, what's a throw over? The fact that this is a perfect trend line is an argument against that we're done. So in other words, one of the counter arguments I would offer to myself is, Jim, you know they never end right on the trend line perfectly. They never do that. Come on. So the fact that that trend line is perfect leads me to be a little bit more bullish. I would argue that's actually a bullish, not a bearish thing. Because when you see a perfect trend line, they like to work the trend line. Okay, they work it. They work it. They use it because traders use it, and so traders are here looking at it. We just hit resistance. Let's go short here, right? And what they do is they go up, take out liquidity first, and then they come and take it out. So a throw over of that trend line is quite possible. Okay. So there's an argument for the bulls, okay, because I know they could work the trend line. However, another argument for the bulls is that this wave count is too perfect. It's too good. It's too pretty. It really is. It's too pretty. What do we mean by too pretty? Well, when you see a wave count that's perfect like that, and everything's in proportion, everything looks perfect, look for it to not be perfect, because it's probably not. Because rarely do you get perfect waves, and they stand. But nevertheless, it could be. So there's 2 arguments for the bulls. But they're counter arguments. They're how do I say it? They are market maker. They're just reverse psychology arguments, right? When I look at this wave structure here, okay, particularly this last wave, we're counting 5 waves in the last wave. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you have beautiful, you got a sideways correction here and a deep correction here. That's what we call, what do we call that? Daggone it. My brain just left me. There's a word. The word has just left me. I cannot think of the word. We call it an Elliott wave. Somebody help me out, please. When wave 2 differs from wave 4, what's the word? It's like on the tip of my tongue, but I can't get it out. Please. Alternation. Thank you so much. Golly, I could not get that word out. Thank you so much. Yeah, alternation. There, my students said it. I love you guys. Thank you. Yeah, alternation. So we got alternation there. We got a sideways correction in wave 2, and we have a a deep correction in wave 4. Wave 4 does not overlap wave 1. In fact, it comes to a really, really nice area for a wave 4. It came right to it came right to my 414. Look at that. Not 414, but the 441 retrace. I mean, look how perfect that was. Why is my 441 there? That's not even an Elliott wave extension or retrace extension. Why do I have it on my chart? Because the 382 is an Elliott a level for importance for Elliott, and the 50 is an area for importance for Elliott. But what I have found is that price rarely stops at the 382. If it's going to go to the 382, it generally hits halfway between the 50 and the 382, which is, if you do the math, add 0.5 plus 0.382 and divide it by 2, you get 441. Okay? So, with that said, I mean, that's a beautiful retrace for a wave 4. That's what we expect to see. That's what we like to see. Plus, we have divergence, okay? You look at the 3-day chart, you can see it really clear. We have divergence right here, boom, boom, right there, between wave 4, between the top of wave 3 and the top of wave 5, we've got divergence. We have now some more divergence working. We got double divergence working here. But this divergence, I believe, is being caused by an expanded flat. It's what we'd expect to see when you have 3 waves off the top, 3 waves that take that out, looking for a fast 5 waves down to grab this liquidity down here. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to see. Once that finishes, that dive to the low, then I get bullish. And I have a couple of ideas for what might happen. I've got one really bearish idea that says this is the beginning of sorrows. That this right here would be the first wave of the beginning of sorrows, where we would get a 3-wave pullback, okay, and then we'd get 3 more waves back down, okay? And that could be a multi-year bear market, and that could be, if it gets prolonged, the beginning of a very long bear market where this is the first one. But notice what this bear market does. It stays in a range between 100K and 50K for years. And it gives you a bullish look for many of those years. We get a dump on the front end of it, and then we get a bullish retrace that takes another year or two to develop, and everybody's getting bullish for the next move to the upside, and it's only setting up for another round of selling back down to lower prices. But once that 3-wave cycle plays out, that could be the end and your last chance to get into Bitcoin if you get it. But my guess is that this move right here from there to there is going to be so fast. Okay? It's going to be so fast, and something is going to be so devastating in the world events that nobody's going to want to buy Bitcoin. Everybody's going to be bearish on Bitcoin. Everybody's going to be like not believing in Bitcoin anymore because there's going to be some FUD, something that are going to cause people want to sell rather than to buy. And that's when the buying starts to really begin for the big boys, and that's when the moon happens. That's my preferred. That's what I think is going to play out. That we are going to retest 20K very quickly, and it should V-shape back up for wave 1, and then we spend a lot of time for wave 2 before, and there's a reaccumulation in this range before we get the major markup. But what's going to happen is this is going to set the stage. for the new world order's new economy. This is going to be this bear market that I'm proposing as a possibility is going to coincide with some major sorrows going on in the world economically. Maybe war, maybe food shortages. Maybe I don't know what's going to play the role of the black swan, but I think there's something scary coming that you and I can't foresee exactly. We have some ideas, but we don't know how it's going to play out. But it's going to be the blame for this kind of move. And I know a lot of you bulls are out there like, no, all the fundamentals are sound. Yeah, chemo. And that's part of my ignorance as far as the bond market is concerned, how that has the effect on the market. I mean, I understand what it is to some degree, but and what the bond market is, but I still struggle with knowing fully the ramifications for how that's going to play out and what's going to happen. But yeah, we do know that the bond market is probably going to be the culprit. So anyway, this wave is predictable based on this wave structure. Okay, you can see it. So that's my primary bearish count. That this is actually the beginning of the first move. We should get a rebound. Okay, and we're going to get another round of selling, and all of this right here, that first. Now that might be what we get. This might be it. And that would take until 2028, what I've just drawn here. I drew it kind of low. It doesn't have to go that low. Okay. But retesting 20K. Right here. Right here. See that wave and this wave? Retesting that zone. Just like that. Breaking this zone. 40K is strong. We can break it and come back in. We won't spend a lot of time at 20K, but we're going to hit it, play around, and then come back up. So that's my primary idea. But that's going to set the stage for the real bull market that's coming, because this is the future of the world's economy. The Bitcoin supply will be snatched up completely by the big boys. And then they'll hold it to infinitum. But this is when you buy and hold. That's your last opportunity. If that happens. Or Bitcoin is dead. It's the biggest crap coin there is. That the world's economy won't be centered on Bitcoin. Bitcoin was just the shill. And that's a bearish concept that I have. That what if now I don't think this is true, but is there an outside chance that Bitcoin itself, or crypto as we know it, is just the Trojan horse to really bring in digital dollars? It gave you a reason to believe that something digital can actually have value. I mean, that's what I think. So does Bitcoin, for all of time and eternity, have to have value to infinitum? No, it doesn't. If something in the future undermines the confidence in Bitcoin, or any other crypto for that matter, then it could easily be go away after giving rise to now an argument against that says no, Bitcoin is needed to hold its value because it is the foundation of all digital assets. It's the foundation. So if the foundation Bitcoin, if Bitcoin is the foundation, well, then it has to hold. It has to remain of value forever because it's the foundation of a confidence in a digital economy. So that's the argument. So I'm having an argument back and forth with myself. But I guess the point is that are you ready for Bitcoin to go to zero if it could? Do I think it's likely? No, I don't think it's likely. Could it? Maybe in the future. I don't know. I think not. I don't think so. I think Bitcoin's probably here to stay. What I do know is blockchain and the technology of blockchain is here to stay. I know that governments are going to create digital assets. They already have created digital assets, but they're going to move the economic system to a 100% digital economy so that they have complete control over us peasants, and they can control the world. You control the money flow. You control the world, right? You see, gold and silver is the true decentralized currency of the world. Gold, because it's real money. But what you've bought into is that Bitcoin is a decentralized currency. That's baloney. Because if you don't own all the Bitcoin, it's not decentralized at all. It becomes centralized by the one who owns it all. Right? If it's got a limited supply and governments own it all, the big corporations own it all, okay, then they have control of it. It becomes centralized, whether a bank has it or not. The point is that if you and I don't have it, it's not ours. But you're sold freedom and decentralization with Bitcoin. But that's the very means by which they're going to enslave you. They're going to enslave you to a digital economy through the promise of freedom. It's a big Trojan horse, in my opinion. So I can see some scenarios, but I guess what I'm saying here is that I look at this chart and I'm saying, man, this looks bearish to me. This looks like it's ready for down movement. Okay. Now, remember, at tops, you get lots of chop ups and downs, right? I found it so funny last week. What was the title of the video last week? It said, "I'm very bearish on Bitcoin this week. Here's why." That was the title. That was my clickbait. But it wasn't clickbait. It was just the honest truth. It was, why am I bearish? I'm bearish. I didn't hide my opinion in for you to come and try to figure it out watching it. I told you on the front end of it. And I explained why I was bearish, right? So, first couple of days of last week, we had a pump. Bitcoin pumped. It was going up a little bit. And I had naysayers come into my comments and just kind of making snide comments. But let me ask you a question. Did we get a dump this past week? Did the dump I was seeing begin to happen? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And last week overall was a bearish week. So, so just because I say I'm bearish doesn't mean we can't go up and take the top out. Doesn't mean it can't pump first. Just looking at this chart, let me just explain something to you. When I draw a line, this is the 3-day chart. So when I draw a line like this, do you realize that this line takes us into the end of September and into October? Just that line that I just drew right there. The time frame of that is months. That's months of price action. So please understand that when I look at the macro vision of what I'm thinking is going on, when I look at this with you, I'm talking about distant futures. That doesn't mean tomorrow this is going to happen. It could be, by the way, if I see something like imminent, like, oh, this is happening, like soon, big time, I will let you guys know. And trust me, if you're in my Discord, you will definitely have advanced warning, okay, of when the dump is going to happen. All right, I look at the charts every morning, and I post a video of what I'm thinking, my thoughts for the day every morning. Every morning during the week. So You're going to know what if I think today's the day, or if it's coming, I let you know my buys every day. But please understand that just because I say, yeah, I'm bearish, that doesn't mean this chart can't come down here and then come up here and then come down. Okay? Because what I just drew right there finishes out this wave structure that I'm seeing right now. It finishes it out. So why did you draw it like that? Because I see three waves here. I see three waves developing here. Come down, boom, hit that liquidity, come up here, take that liquidity, and then we drop. That involves a dump. It involves a pump, a big pump, back up to $108,000. Okay, on the small time frame. So just because I say I'm bearish doesn't mean that price can't go up and take out some liquidity first. There's no way for me to predict the exact price movements on the small time frame chart. No way for me to predict it. Depends on where the liquidity is. But let's look at this and say, okay, where could price be going? What's the wave structure that you're seeing, Jim? What's the wave structure that could be developing right now? Okay. Now, this is one of the best examples of a chart that's set to take liquidity from traders, because the bearish guy looks at this chart and says, "Oh yeah, look at this. This is ready to go down." The bullish guy looks at this chart and says, "Oh yeah, look, we had a pullback. It now went up. We've now supported it with a lower high. A higher low. We're ready to go up." It's interesting. It just depends on which wave you're looking at. You can look at this chart and be bearish, and you can look at this chart and be bullish. It satisfies where we are in the chart right now, satisfies both the bull and the bear. And you got to wonder how in the world can they do that? How in the world can they make the same chart look bullish and bearish to the beholder of it? It's so interesting. Isn't it interesting? It is absolutely interesting to me that this chart right now, the way it looks like it could go up or it could go down. But that's what happens. Here's what goes on. And the initial wave is set. Okay? So the question becomes for the Elliott waiver, well, what is the initial wave? Is it 5? Certainly looks like 5, doesn't it? All right. Then what? 3 waves right there. So there's 5 to the down, 3 back up, a 786 retrace. It's gorgeous. We got an impulse working here that may or may not be finished. Right? Getting a pullback. We just need this to dip, pull back, dip, and then keep rocking, right? That's exactly what could play. That's the bullish look. Excuse me, the bearish look. Now, we could come down here, come up here, and then come down. That's the bearish look. The point is, there's no way for me to tell how this wave is going to come down, if it's going to come down. Right? But that is one way to interpret these waves. That you've got 5 waves off the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got a 3-wave pullback. Boom. And now we're beginning the next impulse. We're just waiting for the market timing. Asia, London, New York open tomorrow. Waiting for market timing. It's probably going to pump and take everybody out before it dumps. More than likely, you're going to see this retesting these levels up here before it dumps. Okay? Now, it may not be finished 5 waves. In other words, this first wave could be 1, 2, 3, we're in 4. That could be complete right here. And now we're getting ready to go down for 5. Okay. What's that look like? Well, the fifth wave will be 5 waves. And maybe this will be a deep 5 waves. 1, 2. Okay. We're in 3 now. Or 2 isn't finished. 3, 4, 5. 2 may not be finished. It may retest this high. It came awful high here. Should be done. But it may not be done. So that's another way to interpret those waves. But it's hard to say what this is. We got to see what develops here. Okay, but that's a bearish look. Now, what's a bullish look? Well, the bull needs to look at this and say, well, that's 3 waves. So how do you interpret this as 3 waves? How in the world do you interpret that? Well, here's how you do it. This would be the A wave, that would be the B wave, and this would be C. Okay, and C needs 5 waves, so you're going to count that as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as your C, and that's an ABC. Now, that's not a great shape for an ABC. It really isn't. But I suppose you could interpret that as an ABC, in which case you got a 3-wave pullback. Okay. Now, the question is, are they going to double up that pullback? There's your 3-wave pullback. This could be the beginning of something bigger to the upside. Okay. So that's a bullish look. This could be a wave 4, in which case you're looking for wave 5. Well, if this is a 1, 2 to the upside, you're looking for 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So you're looking for a wave 5. So in other words, you got a 1, 2, all this is 3, 4, and now we need 5. And the 5th wave needs 5 waves. And you got a really big 1, 2, right? That's really big. Okay. So we'd look for something large up here, to get up to 120, 130, 140. Could get an extended wave. I don't know. So that's the way a bull might look at those waves. Okay. Now for me, my problem is looking back here. I look at this. Yeah, there it is. I look at this as an A, a B, and now a C. Right there. That took the high as an expanded flat. We had a liquidity grab. You had a rejection off the level, a pullback, and now, so that's my bias. That's my belief that we're getting something like that. Be careful here, guys. Let me just take a peek. Altcoin, I saw Epsilon's comment about altcoins waking up. Just want to check it out here for a second. Don't like, something's fishy about this move here. I don't like it. Watch out for something like this. Than that. It may not happen. It may not play. But that is a strong move. That's a strong. What I do like is the shape. I wish I wasn't distracted because this is a beautiful three-wave shape. You had a nice 5-wave, 3-wave, but now you got another 5-wave straight up. Yeah, just not a huge fan of that, guys. Because what I got here, this is XRP. That's what I trade. I got a flat here. So what's that flat doing? And you see that wave right there? I'm looking for the potential of a move down like that to kind of match this and then get another wave up. And then all of a sudden what you've got is a WXY 3-wave pullback, and then you get a WXY again. So we dump it. They take this liquidity, then they take all this liquidity. Right now they're going up here really fast, giving you the look like it's going to go take the liquidity, but they're really just going to dump it tonight and then pump it tomorrow, or tomorrow morning, or tomorrow all day into Monday, Tuesday, getting ready for a Wednesday dump when FOMC comes. That's kind of the way I'm looking at that. So be careful. Be careful in this range here. That looks like a liquidity grab, or setting it up for a liquidity grab. Now, let's look at it from a bullish perspective and say, okay, what could it be? Bullishly. See, I always make myself... First, I look at the waves and like, okay, what's going on? But then I always make myself look at the wave a different way and say, okay, what could it be? Well, that looks like a W, X, and a Y. That looks very corrective. And then we had a clear ABC back down. Is there another way to look at that? Yes, there's another way to look at that. What if this is an A, B, C, A, B, and this is C to here? And this is setting up for W. That's X. And now we're in Y, and Y is coming up here. That's a possibility as well. The thing I don't like is that this looks... That fast move just looks like a... I don't know. Enticement. But this could start working its way up in here and come all the way back up to the 786 retrace of this wave here. what I'm noticing is that, you know, this looks like a flat to me. But is this a flat? Is that going to be a pump of XRP before the dump? Or was this 3 waves and that's it, and now this is just going to pump to here and then come down? Hard to tell the exact wave structure. Lots of ideas. I got lots of ideas for this wave structure here. But let's look at Bitcoin a little bit, small time frame, figure out what's happening right now. You see, yeah, I don't like this. When I say I don't like it, I mean to say something looks off on this wave structure, and I'm trying to interpret it. And when I see a quick move like that, where you expect to see a quick move like that, I always pause, because this pullback looks too clean. And then you got the move you would expect to see really fast. Oh, sorry, guys. Let's try again here. There we go. So what's going on here? What's the... I'm trying to do a little small time frame work here. Here's a nasty count for you guys. 3, 3, and we're going to call that 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 and the 1 don't overlap. It's a deep 4. It's a nasty count. I don't know if it's right or not. That count gets invalid if this high gets broken. So you got this impulse wave right here. I'm not sure what that's doing. I don't know if that's a C wave or it's an initial wave. I got this flat right here. That looks clear enough. But then what? Is that an impulse? 3-wave pullback that's designed to be tricky. And then it comes down. Be careful. Or is this just going to shoot up here? Okay, if this is continuation, so here's the bullish idea. Just to be as balanced as I can. You had an impulse wave, boom. You got a 3-wave pullback, boom. Perfect extension. You're getting a 1-2, 1-2. This is getting ready to fly. I just don't like the timing for the flying right now. Let's look at Ethereum small time frame, just see what this could be. Do a little work on Ethereum here. What's the volume saying here? Any volume to speak of? I don't like the volume. There's no volume telling me anything right now. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to see this volume peak right there. It's bigger than all of these. Bigger than these. So this was a significant volume spike for this current wave. I think it's reasonable to say this wave could certainly come up here. I think that's very reasonable. Is price coming up here now? I'm trying to read the waves, guys. See what things. I'm not a fan of this price movement. I don't believe it. Something's off. This is XRP. This is Ethereum. Absolutely, J-Dubs. I'll look at volume. That's very, very important. I'm not sure about footprints, what you mean by footprints, but Definitely watch volume spikes. And in conjunction with Elliott wave structures. So Ethereum has 3-wave that's clear. Boom, boom, boom. That looks like 3 waves. My concern is that this looks like a WXY. WXY. And this looks like an ABC. A, B. Watch out for C. That's... There's some volume that just came in. Boom, boom, boom. So this could be a W. There's an X right there and a Y that needs to finish up. That could be 3 waves. Setting up for a 5th wave dump. Watch out. They bring it down here. Boom. Retest. Boom. They work this level again. Take it out. Where you thought it was going now. Doesn't go there now. It hits the bottom first. Then comes up later. And then comes down. See, they don't... I mean, that's the kind of... This is the trash that they do. They gave you a big move. Then they work it for a while. Boom. Boom, come back up, boom. Okay, now what are they? So they got to do that trash before the big move. So, yeah, for some reason I just don't like this wave. Doesn't feel convincing to me as far as the wave structure is concerned. I see more likely. It feels more likely, let me just say it that way, that this is some kind of what would be the best way to interpret that? A, B, C. This could be a flat C. That would have to be a WXY. I don't like that. How do I interpret that? Let's take a peek at ADA since Seth mentioned it. That's a WXY, man. This is a WXY. You got this 3. Three, 3. Ooh, that's a big volume node. Yep, lots of volume coming in here. Let's see how the volume comes in. How about on Bitcoin? Not the same volume. It ain't finished. I need a wave 4 and a wave 5. I need to see this kind of develop as a wave 4, maybe get a wave 5, and then look for a short. Potentially. Okay, so J-Dubs, the volume, it's more important to note where the volume comes in, not the color of the candle. Okay? And the reason I say that is because volume can come in all kinds of different ways. There's spoofing, in which what can happen is you get a bunch of buy volume coming in at the top of a wave because they're driving price up to hit limit orders. Okay? So you get a bunch of buy volume so those limit orders can be hit. And then the sell volume comes in as the wave gets pushed back down. The sell volume will come in incrementally, but it'll look like a big green candle, or vice versa. So the point is, it's more about where does the volume come in. And this volume came in at the end of a move. I have a 3-wave shape, and then boom, that volume came in at the end of a 3-wave shape. So I look at that and say, it's likely that this is volume that's coming in, finishing this potential move or close to it. So price can still make higher highs, but that this could be pointing to a wave that's going to come down and take this out. Now, that's not a perfect science, but that's a potential way to interpret that. if you zoom out, this is XRP, like on the 1 hour, you'll notice these volume spikes. And note where the volume comes in. Okay, these volume nodes that you see, these spikes, they come in at the end of a move. You have this 3-wave shape here. See it? Boom. And then the volume, boom, marked the end of it and the beginning of that wave. Okay. But you'll note that these volume peaks that you see right here, okay, all these peaks, this peak right here marked the end of that move, right? So it's more important to pay attention to where that volume comes in relationship to Elliott structures. Again, it's not a perfect science, and there's some nuance to reading it, but you can see, like on the Bitcoin chart, 4-hour chart, for instance. You see these volume peaks that stand up and out. Okay. Exactly, Chemo. So I just began noticing those volume spikes and say, okay, and they generally come at the end of moves, but it's not a perfect thing. Like right here, you got these volume spikes. They came in right here, but price still pushed up a bit. But notice what happened. Price stayed, when that volume came in here, price stayed in that range for a long time as it moved down. Why? And the volume only, because it could be that a position is being built in this range. A position was being built in this range. Now a position is maybe coming up for one more hit, so that position can be finished. Could be. But a big position might be being developed up here for a big move to the downside. See what I'm saying? And they're just hitting the level over and over again multiple times to develop it for the downside. Hey, Eddie Bo. What's up, buddy? The question is, and here's the big question, what is this wave right here? Is this a wave 4 that we're getting ready to get a wave 5? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5? Could be. Or is this impulse finished and this is setting up for a 3-wave move back up? Or was this 3 waves and this is getting ready to impulse to the upside and take out the high? So those are, I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm ready to, I want to see this wave develop, okay, so that we can get a sense for it. Yeah, I see what you're saying as far as the divergence is concerned. The problem I have is I don't have structure that makes sense for that divergence on the ADA, Seth. Doesn't have to make sense, but I can't make sense of it. I get the sense, Seth. Here's kind of what I'm seeing. See this little thing right here? This little thing right here? It just seems like that's what we're developing here before we get a hit down, then up, then down, something like that. Yeah, alts are in a trashy range. Absolutely. Yeah, let's just take a peek. Let's run through the alts charts here and just see if anything is showing us anything. Let's start with I haven't looked at Trump coin in a minute. Oh man, that thing is down. That thing's going down. Normally see they haven't come back. It doesn't look like they finished. How are they going to do it though is a question. I need my volume bar. Let me get the volume on the screen here. There we go. Yeah, that came down so... This is VET. That came down so hard and fast, they got to correct. That's why they're correcting here now. Mm-hmm. All right, VET, 15-minute. Is this going to develop into this thing right here? Boom. 3, and then 3. This is so nasty. Or is that finished? 1, 2, 1, 2 down. Zill. Yeah, I'm pretty certain Trump coin's going below $9 is coming. Just when and how. What's that wave structure going to be? What is this? 3, 3, 3. Man, that's nasty. So trashy. They're making it hard on us, guys. Altcoin. Exciting. When did that volume come in? Well, for sure, this is going to end up down here eventually. This low is going to get taken out. More than likely, this price is not going to hang around. But there could be some playing around here before down. See this? See that right there? See that right there? So more than likely, this is going to play around for a little bit, but it's coming down. So don't forget, guys, the Forex calendar. Let's look at the Forex calendar for this week. We got FOMC press conference and the federal funds rates coming out Wednesday. So what do we know? We know that the chart is going to set up for that day, for Thursday. So we know that there's trash coming. Yeah, guys, I think on the small time frame, I'm not much help right now because this range sucks. What I don't like, what I don't understand, what's interesting is that this looks like 3 waves, that looks like 3 waves, but I don't think that's right. I think either this is 3 waves and that means we're pointing up, right? Or what? This is where it gets tricky, and I already shared this one. I'm going to share it a second time. That this is actually 3 waves, 3 right there, and the direction is down. And I think that feels more likely to me just because they've painted a picture here that looks one way. So that's how they're going to take it down here. And that's a flat is what it is. This is 5 waves here for ABC. And down is the really direct. And then what do you got? You got A, B, or 1, 2, 1, 2. And this is a 1, 2. And we're getting ready to continue down strong. That's the bearish look at that. That's a way to look at these waves bearishly. But, with FOMC coming this week, is the market just going to pause and just kind of range here correctively and 3-wave us to death until Wednesday? Maybe. Let's finish look at some alts here. Let's look at Link for a moment. Keith, you still running? I'm looking at Link, buddy. Oh, wrong. All right, 15-minute chart for Link. This was a strong move down. That means there are traders looking for continuation. There are traders looking for correction or up move. I look at that and I'm like, okay, that's developing hidden bearish divergence. That looks like a correction, a bear flag, as it were. Is this a wave 4? We get a wave 5, then a correction. That makes sense to me. Is this designed to look corrective and this is just going to work its way up, do one of those tricks? Yeah, maybe. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, on the 4 hour, we really haven't reached target. Target's down here. Why is target down there? I mean, here's a prime example where it came down, took this low out, went up, retested, and then came and took the target out. That's it. So here we came, took that low out, went up 3. Now we just need to finish this wave down, take that low out. Then you got some kind of 3-wave move setting up. and then ready for more down. Three. Three. 5. And then down. Is that a one? The bullish look is this 1 2 1 2, and now we're getting ready to go up bullishly, like getting ready to run the moon. Yeah, maybe. That's the bullish look at it. My problem is this wave structure right here. That's 3 waves. See, that's 3 waves right there to the upside. Boom. Is this 3 waves right here? Is this a trashy 3 waves? They're getting ready to pump it, only to dump it. What if Bitcoin pumps? What would that be? If Bitcoin pumps, three. I don't know, guys. This wave structures are super challenging. And FOMC is coming this week. I'm trying to figure it out. I've got some ideas, but man, this is an I don't know burger. Let's look at LTC. Sometimes LTC is clearer than all of them. That's 3. You're just tuning in. I'm looking at small time frames, seeing what this little pump is doing and prepping us for. That chart is awful. But here's what I do know. This chart right here, just looking at LTC, that looks like 3 waves, which has the rest of this chart looking really bullish. Nick, exactly. ETH BTC. ETH is definitely going to pump. I strongly recommend Ethereum as a winner. But my question is, do we get a dump first? I feel like the wave structure is pointing to a dump first. But I could be wrong on that. But was this the low? Or is this coming down here to hit the low? Finish out this flat and then go. So that's my big question. But I think this pump is coming. It may not come exactly as I just drew it, because ETH may need to come down here to finish before it rounds up. Now that's a 3-day chart. But that's the question. Is this flat finished? Is this a weird looking wave 4? It's not. It doesn't. I mean, doesn't look like a wave 4. Normally does. But is it a trashy wave 4? Is it part of a flat? Is that the wave? And now this is getting ready to come down and take the bottom out fast and furious. If that happens, 3, 3, 3, I would be so bullish on Ethereum. If that low gets taken, I will be so bullish. I mean, like let's go right now bullish. Like, definitely be a buyer down here for Ethereum. Will we get that? I don't know. But I feel like that correlates with what I'm seeing on the macro with Bitcoin. That if we get the dump that I'm looking for on Bitcoin, Ethereum could take that dump as well and then finish the wave. And then as Bitcoin rebounds in 3 waves, Ethereum shoots up faster and more furious while Bitcoin is correctively moving up, Ethereum impulsively moves up. And then when Bitcoin is dumping, Ethereum is correcting. So the ETH BTC chart, ETH is flying against BTC. So that's kind of one of the way I've been looking at ETH BTC and their relationship. So my question is that a wave 4 and we need a wave 5 to finish? I've been kind of holding on to that idea, and it's not invalid yet. Uh, 145 has been my target for a while if we get an extended fifth. But it doesn't have to go to 145, but that would be my answer, Epsilon. Look for 145. I don't think we're going there, but we could. Let me know, guys, how my stream's looking to you. Are we in the green? Are we going well, or is it choppy right now? For some reason, I'm getting some signal like YouTube is getting. Let me know how the stream's doing. Okay. Bitcoin's going to 1 million. All right, let me back in. All right, I'm here. Are you guys hearing me? Let me know.